Hello, my name's Vinay Reddy-Kolanu. I'm a consultant in acute internal medicine. I'm TBD for acute medicine in the West Midlands and SAC chair for acute internal medicine. Anand?
Hi everyone, my name's Anand Sundaralingam. I am a respiratory registrar in training. I am based in the Kent, Surrey and Sussex region, and I am part of the RCP training committee.
Thank you. So Anand, today we're going to be talking about capabilities in practice, specifically talking about generic CIPs. Have you any thoughts about them?
Yeah, so obviously moving on to the sort of new curriculum, there were some sort of similarities between the generic CIPs, SIPs, and the old sort of common competencies. But I think one thing I sort of realised is that it covers a very broad range of sort of skills and attributes that we develop as clinicians just through our normal sort of working practice. But trying to sort of really pin down how you sort of evidence that is a bit more of a challenge. I think what I found is that there are certain sort of normal sort of day-to-day activities that I sort of participate in that would certainly meet some of these criteria. But then there were also very specific activities that I sort of have participated in the past or should do so moving forwards in the future to tick off some of these activities. But certainly the first sort of meeting with my educational supervisor sort of set the stage for what I should and try and achieve over the course of the year.
So I agree. The key is the first meeting, and one of the challenges is especially with this new curriculum, is a complete change with the way the curricula has been modelled and has focused specifically on the apprenticeship model. That has been the way we've been training for a very long time, and has put a structure within that. And so one of the key things with respects to this particular curriculum is the fact that we need to have a developed, shared educational plan with how we take this particular year forward. And so within the initial introduction meeting, I think what is key and what is important is that the trainee and the supervisor essentially have a shared understanding of where the trainee is in the beginning of the curriculum, as in on that particular year, and where they're going to. And there's a phrase which was coined a little while ago called the gap analysis. Um, so how have you used the gap analysis in the past?
So, to be very sort of truthful, it was since moving to the new curriculum that I sort of had a formal gap analysis actually conducted. And actually, I found that immensely useful because, as you say, it sort of really reorientates you as the trainee as to sort of what you've achieved so far and what you need to be achieving to sort of reach that sort of CCT point. So I found it a very sort of valuable exercise that me and my educational supervisor undertook, particularly because there was this sort of midpoint transition in my career to the new curriculum. What we then sort of decided after sort of working out what's needed further development was specific tasks and activities that I could participate in or I should keep my eyes peeled for over the year that would then meet some of these SIPs to then allow my educational supervisor to sort of make an assessment as to whether or not I had eventually achieved. So I found it a very useful task, and it's how I constructed my personal development plan based on this gap analysis.
Yes, so it's very much it's very different with the generic capabilities, isn't it? Because with respects to the decision aid, there is no expectation that your knowledge progresses forward. It's that you are at a certain stage in your training. You should maintain that stage in your training, and then you should understand where the challenges are and where the gaps essentially are going forward, so that you develop within that particular capability, so that you get better by the next year.